Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Heels Up. Today we are doing the October 9th episode of Smackdown. It's draft day, man.
Yeah, and unfortunately, guys, this is the second time running through this. I caused a critical error with our first recording in that I accidentally deleted half of it. So if the first half of this video looks like we're all completely over it and not making any jokes and miserable, it's because it's the second time doing this shit. All right, so we started the night with Stephanie McMahon, the official buzzkill of the WWE, coming out to start off the draft. Raw and SmackDown quickly retained their male heavyweight champions. Roman staying on SmackDown. Raw's first pick was Drew McIntyre. Raw's second pick is for Asuka. The Raw Women's Champion is going to stay put. The first swerve we get, though, is with the fourth pick from SmackDown, and they're taking Seth Rollins. So the Monday Night Messiah is going to find a new name if he wants to stick with the alliteration.
He's not a Friday Night Messiah.
Friday Night Friar?
He could be the Friday Night Faithful.
Yeah, like his flock of people or whatever, his Friday Night flock. Something else blasphemous that makes me a little uncomfortable every time I watch it. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, and then finally, the last pick of the night was, hold on, let's consult the royal scroll here. Read it off our official high gloss 8x10 color glossy photos with a circle and arrow and a paragraph in the back of each one explaining what each one was. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. All right. Raw's last pick for the first round is they take the entire Hurt Business. So they're already getting the advantage of getting 3 picks to 2. Lulu, no scratchies. You're picking up on the mics, baby. Sorry, Lucy's co-produced it and she had an itchy. Yeah, they're already getting, 3 picks to 2 because of the hour differential, but like the whole thing's a little wonky, what with, you can pick tag teams or you can pick them separately. So like,
Or pick a whole stable.
Like the whole 3 for 2 thing only really works if you're picking 1 for 1. You know what I mean? So yeah, Raw keeps the entire Hurt Business. So, I mean, as far as like, per pound goes, that's the best pick in the draft.
Yeah.
You get more for your buck that way, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then we go into our first match of the night after all of that. It falls kind of anywhere between Big E and Sheamus, which was a brutal match, man.
Yeah, man, they were definitely sticking it to each other hard, trying to make the match get over, and it was really effective. They pushed it to the outside, and they honestly did more damage to a couple of cars than probably some NXT guys make an entire year.
In the SA and our fiscal budget.
Oh, so they're a tax shelter? Is that what you're saying? So like Vince had to buy those cars to keep himself in a lower tax bracket?
Yeah.
He realized he saved too much money off releasing all that talent. He had to spend it somewhere.
Yeah, so apparently because Vince wanted to be in a different tax bracket, we got treated to one of the mid-round matches from Street Fighter 2.
At the end of it all, Big E won with a big ending.
Yeah.
Right off the car.
Right off the car and through a table. Hell of a move. Hell of a lot of fun to watch. He rolls over, drapes his arm over Sheamus, wins the 1-2-3. He's bleeding from the leg. He's bleeding from the arm. Pretty brutal to watch. After this, though, we're treated to the return of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, who come up and, congratulate E. They're like, man, dude, we're so happy to be back. And, we're all here, but there's one thing missing.
That's those WWE World Tag Team Championships.
Gotta get an extra one, that aftershock. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we're actually going to get that match later on the night, man. Stephanie's going to announce that we're going to get Kofi and Xavier of the New Day taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Shinsuke and Cesaro. So looking forward to that. I'm so excited to see them back, man.
Yeah.
Xavier
Oh,
Woods is
I
my
love it.
freaking hero, dude.
Love it.
You guys the greatest.
Greatest tag team specialist ever.
We all know what's going on here. It's just implied, but we all know what's going on in this thought bubble. The kids don't know, but we do.
When Xavier and Kofi were kind of talking to E a little bit, E, at first he kind of looked like he wasn't really that into it, but I think it was just, as we come to find out later on the story, I think it was just him being tired from the match, but it made us worry a little bit that he was.
I know, right?
that he was going to start being tense with them and not wanting to be back in the group and stuff. But luckily, that's not how they played it out. We'll get to it later. No spoilers yet. But that was kind of the concern, kind of watching the interaction. But we could chalk it up to just E being beat down and worn out after that hell of a match, which is understandable.
Very understandable.
And here they got deep fried.
Yeah, he did, huh?
Yeah, Sheamus did try to make a pancake on his face. That is true. We're all thinking about funnel cake, aren't we?
Yeah. Fried and
you only have one bite of it before you want to kill yourself.
So I like the golden chick ones because the golden chick ones were like the size of a cookie.
Oh yeah, so you just had the 2 bites before you go into diabetic coma.
Yeah.
They come with 2 bites and a shot of insulin.
Yeah. At least they need to.
The Happy Trio pack.
Steak and donut sandwich, please.
You want cigarettes on that sandwich?
What do I look like, a Mary? Yes, I want cigarettes.
That's back when the Happy Meals came with the Lucky Strike. Try new Marlboro Juniors. 9 out of 10 schoolyard bullies wouldn't choose anything else. You want to be a cool kid, don't you? Smoke with the bully smoke. It's got that smooth flavor that I can really experience when I'm on the seesaw. It's like I'm in a mountain air. Whee! So whether you're on the teeter-totter, the seesaw, or just going down that epic slide into the cool chase to Winchester.
All right, so after that little interview, we go into the segment with Jey Uso. He's standing in the ring, and he's just calling out Roman, asking, hey, what's the stipulation here?
Yeah, he's demanding Roman come out and tell him what the stipulation for Hell in the Cell is going to be. He doesn't give him much time to respond. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. You're not going to come out because you do things on your time. But he starts cutting the Uso promo, the lockdown penetration, his usual shtick. And then...
Welcome to the Uso penetration.
That's the Xavier Woods penetration.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So Paul Heyman interrupts and tells him, stop embarrassing yourself. Stop embarrassing the family. Calm your little ass down. Stay in your lane, basically, It's like, quit trying to demand the Chief's time. Quit embarrassing yourself by trying to demand the Chief do something by what you want. He'll address you when he wants to, which just happened to be at that moment, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Then Roman cuts a 1980s villain promo.
And pretty much he made the stipulation in Hell in a Cell, I quit match.
Which, is a stipulation when you're basically saying, I want someone to admit something. And it can be, uncle, I quit. Your mom's not a slag, whatever. It's just, the whole thing is to admit something. And you're like, he's like, after you say I quit, there's going to be consequences. But like, the whole point of the match was to get him to admit something. So why not be the admission that you're the Chief? You get what you want. There don't have to be any extra consequences. Because like now you're saying, I'm going to go through this whole thing and make you quit. And then I'm going to have to keep making you say crap after that. Because all I want is for you to admit this one thing. I quit ain't going to be diddly to Roman. So I think I know what they were going for. I think they just need a little bit of tweaking with that writing to clarify what they're actually trying to say here, or just make it that wholesale. The loser, has to bend the knee and acknowledge the other as the Chief.
Yep.
So after that, we get into our second round of the draft.
Oh, that's right. Break out the skull again. Hear ye. Hear ye.
Dun, 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 dun. Whatever music they got every time with a draft pick.
All right. Now I've actually lost where I was. 70 comes out, and for the next round, the drafts, we get basically the draft we all saw coming, which is AJ Styles getting the hell away from Paul Heyman and going to Raw. So
good move. Great move.
Good on him. Good choice. At least somebody's moving. At least there's a shake up there. Because for the most part, there was not much going on tonight.
No, everybody else is staying at their brands, whoever they pick.
SmackDown's keeping Sasha Banks instead of keeping their women's champion. So I guess they're kind of telegraphing that one for Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, I guess so.
Raw drafts Naomi because she's done a lot recently. Raw's selection of their women's division is quite strange.
Yeah, that's another couple they split up.
Mm-hmm. Bianca Belair is going to SmackDown.
Another couple they split up.
And Raw is drafting the women's tag team champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, even though as the women's tag team champions, they're on both shows.
All 3 shows.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? If WWE can remember to include NXT and things, so would I.
That's fair.
Well, and Ramon's back on there, so you might include that now. After the second round of the draft, we go into our next match. Eminem 2.0 versus Jeff Hardy and Matt. Riddle.
Yeah, Jeff is just doing what he does naturally and tagging with the guy named Matt. Early on in the match, we get Morrison taking on Matt, which we only got a little bit of, but just in that little brief bit, I want more of. I would just love to see just repeat that IC table or ladder match from Champions. Just plug in Matt Riddle and John Morrison in the place of Sammy and AJ. And keep Jeff in there because I'll watch that all day long, man.
It was like I was seeing Morrison's moves from when he played Winter Soldier.
Dude was doing some cool stuff, man. He's a lot of fun to watch, and him and Matt, I think, could really give each other a nice athletic. You know what? Matt too, yeah. But you know what? I want to see. I'll take it back. Give me Morrison and Great Metalik as far as using those ropes to do some fantastically weird things we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
The match itself was relatively brief. We got some good, solid stuff out of most of the guys. It wasn't anything spectacular. Riddle ends up winning with the Bro Derek, but afterwards we get the return of Lars Sullivan, who comes out looking in better shape and less like Albino Shrek. So,
yeah. Let's just see where it goes.
But yeah, well, we'll see what they do with him. He does come out and lay waste to just everyone in the ring, sans Morrison. He gets his hands on Jeff and Matt first. Like, okay, come out as a heel, but then he drags Miz back in the ring as he tries to escape. It's like, oh no, you're just an equal opportunity beating everybody up guy. Got it. Cool.
So you think they're going to do the Goldberg thing with him or the Ryback thing with him or anything?
Either
like
that or the Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
It depends on if they go mindless or they go thoughtful with him.
Let's see where this goes. Like, I hate to say it, but I'm not excited about this.
I could be excited about a Sullivan Keith Lee program together. The only problem is I think they're both too early on in their main roster pushes to lose
I guess I'm not excited.
The full thing. What's the arc called? The rivalry right now. I don't think either one of them have been. They both need to win their first mid to long term rivalry. When you first come on,
yeah,
you need to do that. So
I don't know.
I wouldn't put them in a rivalry yet, but eventually I wouldn't mind seeing those two fight each other.
I guess it's because I forgot all about him. Pretty much is why I'm not so excited about it.
Well, he's been out threatening Billy Goats under a bridge somewhere, so glad he's back. After this, we get our third round of the draft, and we start off with cool. Straighten it out. Whack it one more time. There you go. Straighten it out. Good. It's on the other page. I was completely on the wrong page anyway. Gotta do that one more time. Nope, I was on the right page. Sorry. There we go. First up, Raw is keeping Ricochet. So, because Raw's done a lot with him lately.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
He's gonna keep the Hurt Business in business. He's their best customer.
Oh man.
So after Ricochet gets drafted, SmackDown goes ahead and keeps Jey Uso because they're got to keep the Roman Reigns Jey Uso feud going on. So there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it in the short term, but in the long term, probably not the best draft pick. I mean, just again, if we're looking at this from a pure kayfabe point of view, as you know, you're telling me you're going to go after the best wrestlers in drafting. Not doing enough the Mandy Roses and the Dana Brooks and we'll get there anyway.
Oh well.
Because up next is Mandy Rose getting drafted to Raw because she's a hot commodity right now.
Yeah, they just moved her there. Like, why are they drafting her? Like, Like after SmackDown just gave her up, what are you scared that SmackDown's gonna take her back?
Who do we got to that? We got Smackdown Drafts, Dominic and Rey Mysterio.
So they can draft the tandem.
Good 2-for-1 there. And they're going to continue that storyline, obviously, with Seth Rollins. So I'm going to guess Buddy Murphy's going to come over with them at some point.
Mm.
Well, that's the part of the story we're at, right? You can't. So he's got to come too, I suppose. Though I was kind of hoping they would just be done with it.
Me too.
Or at least done with Seth, and you can just deal with Murphy and Aaliyah just it being weird. And
or just let Murphy go on a singles run now. Like, because he's so underrated.
Yeah, I mean, well, yes and no. He's getting some spotlight in what he's doing, which is more than can be said for a lot of guys who are just as talented as him, like your Matt Riddles and things like that, who aren't really given the same kind of spotlight to shine in. But he is still playing the lackey, so I understand where you're coming from and that he needs some time to shine on his own. But a lot of guys who need that right now. So everyone can't get it. After SmackDown takes Rey and Dominic, Raw fires back and they take Miz and Morrison, the new Eminem.
Hey. Oh, ho.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Miz and Morrison go at it with the Street Profits, assuming they don't make a leap themselves. Because watching Ford and Miz go back and forth on the mics, and then watching Ford and
Morrison.
Ford and Dawkins go at it with Morrison in the ring. Just, not that Miz is bad in the ring. It's just again,
Safe guy.
Yeah, safe guy. Not a bad
Which
thing.
I actually inspire to be that.
Yeah, we're not having a problem with that. You're just not the person who blows my skirt up, and you're not the guy like, ooh, I can't wait to see the Miz wrestle this guy because they're wrestling prowess. Like, that's just not who you are. It's fine, man. You do your thing. You play your role and you do it just fine, but no one's gonna look at you the way they ever look at AJ Styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We fantasy book some wrestlers based on wanting to see their wrestling skills up against each other, not just where they're at in the storyline, right?
Yeah.
And some wrestlers, you don't really fucking care to watch them wrestle, but you are interested in watching them as a character on TV, like The Miz. But The Miz will never be someone I'm going, God, man, I'd love to see The Miz and so in the ring together, but they'd tear the roof off the joint, because they won't. No offense, Miz. I'm sure you're a lovely fellow. Hey, Hollywood.
All right, so next up we have the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Sasha Banks and Bayley. This is why they having this title match this soon. It's predictable what's going to happen.
Yeah, this was completely utterly pointless. This is something that's been building for years and needs to be blown off at a pay-per-view. And the fact that you tried to tease us with it on a television show was dumb. Don't get me wrong. This SmackDown was pretty action-packed. A lot of crap crammed in there. It was a good episode. It's the draft. You had some good stuff going on backstage, good storyline progression. This was a good episode of SmackDown. Don't get me wrong. But this felt tedious and kind of pointless.
Oh, yeah, because, of course, Sasha starts off on a rampage beating the hell out of Bayley. But Bayley was going to weasel her way out of this.
Yep, and Bayley, sure enough, pulls out that chair and whacks Sasha right in front of the ref and gets the DQ. Sasha gets pissed off and starts working Bayley over with the chair after the match is over. But match is over, and Bayley retains her championship. Later on the night, we will get a promo for Sasha challenging Bayley to a match at Hell in the Cell. It's in the cell, right?
Yeah, it's in the cell.
Match,
So Bayley doesn't run away anymore.
Yeah, so that'll be good. I'll enjoy that. I'm ready for them though to be done.
Yeah, I enjoyed Sasha and Charlotte in the cell match.
Yeah,
a few years ago. So
that was a great match.
Yeah, it's been one of the better ones in a while. And
yep.
That was actually the main event, right?
That was.
It was.
Yeah.
The first.
It was worthy of the main event spot.
Still the best Sasha and Charlotte ending ever was the bank statement through the bars of the railing on the steps in the auditorium.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fight me. That's the best one. That was intense. After Bayley weasels her way into keeping her championship, we get the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between Shinsei and Cesaro taking on the returning New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
Great match.
Damn good match.
Great match.
Now, in between these two matches, the two title matches, we did get a little short promo with KO backstage warming up for the main event against The Fiend. And Alexa just walks up to him and is like, let him in. And that's all we got. It's cool. I like that little short thing.
Oh, yeah.
They had to be long, drawn out, got to the point, did what it needed to do.
But then we go into the match, and Xavier Woods starts off really, really hot.
Super hot, man. It's good to see him back. He was on fire. He is my hero. He has done so many great things in his life, and I aspire to be just like Xavier Woods when I grow up.
Then it starts getting to the back and forth. You know, Kofi does take the heat, but he's not going to take a pin now. Come on.
No, Kofi should be treated like a champion. Like the way you would treat Drew McIntyre and the other ones. Pinning Kofi should be a big deal. The man is an impressive champion that he was a people's champion for a while, quite frankly. He was our Daniel Bryan type. He was the one we all rallied behind. He's the one we wanted. He's the one we really cared about. And the fact that you fed him to Brock in 5 seconds was a giant middle finger to all of us because you had to suck your cock. It happens, Vince. I know you're into that sort of thing.
Xavier Woods actually gets the pin on Nakamura.
Yeah, man, it was nice to see. It was nice to see Xavier got the pin on his night back. I was really afraid that was going to happen. I thought he was going to have to eat the pin or something, another screwy finish. But no, New Day got to get their titles back.
Yeah, 9-time WWE Tag Team Champions. Yeah,
we're a little tired, guys. But it was a great match. Xavier wins with that, walking to the middle of the rope and like almost does a coast to coast, jumps halfway across the ring. Jumps all the way damn across the ring and delivers that damn elbow drop, dude. It's good to see him in good health.
Oh yeah,
it's good to see him back.
I'm glad he's back.
And those titles belong in those bastards. And maybe you can go, put Cesaro back with Sheamus and let Shinsuke go back to being the mysterious rock star that we wanted to be.
Well, there actually is a preview for next week's SmackDown, and they are back together.
Yeah, I saw that.
3MB, 3-man bar.
3-man bar. That's right.
Yeah.
Can you do that with 3 of them? One of them's got to do this, and they're just going to plug into each other.
Yeah, you just hit with the fist.
He just puts his fist up, and the other two are just boom.
As the New Day are celebrating, we go into the next round of the draft.
And Captain Buzzkill herself comes out to deliver the bad news. And that's going to be that Raw has drafted the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, but not Big E.
That's because SmackDown drafted Big E.
The very next draft, Big E's taken by SmackDown. And if you had to split the New Day up, I'm glad you forced them apart instead of making there be a rift between the friendships because I want them to be able to still interact and be friends and come back together. We got enough
teams that have a rift between each other.
Yeah, we really do. And it was bittersweet to watch them kind of bummed out, looking at, each other. They got these new titles, but
they were together for almost a decade, man.
Yeah. And again,
longest reigning stable.
It's smart for Vince to, if he wants to go somewhere different with them for a little while, that's fine, but don't kill that cash cow by burning that bridge.
Oh, yeah, because then when you put them back together.
It's like Crystal Pepsi to regular Pepsi. You go give us Crystal Pepsi for a little while and we're all butthurt. Then when you bring regular Pepsi back, we all get excited again, except for it's Pepsi, so no one's fucking excited. So yeah, it's a bummer for the New Day, but hopefully it'll breathe a little life into their storylines and we can bring them back together later on and make us all happy.
Oh, yeah.
But next up, Raw takes Dana Brooke because good get there, y'all.
Oh, yeah. SmackDown really wanted her back.
But they got to keep her with Mandy Rose, even though
they could have just drafted them as a tag team.
Yeah, they forgot to draft her earlier.
Yeah, she's still not a first rounder, y'all. Just wait till the next night because no one taking her, I promise. She ain't done much. After that, SmackDown keeps Otis, but not Tucker. Because again, I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and take the package deal here, but doesn't really bode well for Tucker if they're going to try and push Otis out on his own, which he already took Mandy away. You take Tucker away too. God, Otis is goofy, but he needs a straight man to play off of, and Tucker is enough of that. You know what I mean? You can't have him on his own. It's not as funny. And then finally, Raw ends the night with the most epic of gets, man. This is going to change everything. And Angel Garza. They just keep Angel Garza. Yeah. Kind of a lackluster night as far as our draft goes, man. The only one that really was like, oh, cool, was kind of Seth.
Yeah.
Everything else was kind of, well, then breaking up New Day was definitely kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that was the most interesting one of the night.
Yeah. Seth and the New Day, I think, were definitely the biggest ones of the evening. After that, we cut backstage to Otis and Tucker, and, they talk a little bit about, Tucker not being drafted. He's like, we'll worry about that later. And They get a message from, they're going over lawyer words like, I object and other Latin things.
And he got some very aggressive looking pins.
Oh yeah. They were
No,
very
you're out of
pointy and yeah. Then they're always funny together. It was nice. But the whole point of this bit was that the Miz's lawyers served them with an extension or continuance. So they're just delaying things even further because we're going to wait for everything, I guess, to settle from the drafts before we push this any further. But I mean, they did move Miz and Morrison to Raw, and then Otis is on SmackDown, so they're going to conclude it pretty quickly if they're going to conclude it at all, I suppose. Or, maybe they're going to do something at pre-show at Hell in the Cell, or I don't fucking know anymore. I don't care. I don't care about this part of the storyline. I don't know why I'm talking about it. Let's go to the main event. Main event time, y'all. We get The Fiend on television for some reason, which is, look, we get it. If you don't watch the pay-per-views, this might be your only chance to see The Fiend wrestle. It's still one of those things that it weirds me out to see him do his entrance because it's like seeing Demon Balor do an entrance on a regular TV show. It seems like it's too big of a deal to let it be done on a regular TV show.
Like people should pay for it.
Yeah, it needs to just be rare. It just needs to be a rarity that's brought out on special occasions, like the good China.
Yeah.
Or the hand towels your mom will never let you use. They're only for guests. Those people that are never coming over.
Or pay the damn
tiny
bills.
Little soaps. The match itself was pretty good. KO got more offense in than I thought he would, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But The Fiend was definitely shrugging off everything, which, The Fiend is basically Jason Voorhees. He's slow enough to where you can smack him around with something, but he's just going to shrug it off and keep coming, which is exactly how it needs to be played. And I'm definitely enjoying it. They, Sister Abigail onto the announce table that didn't break. And then the botch pop-up powerbomb they had to reset for that the table didn't break. And then did finally break for the reset. Like, must have been so pissed at that table.
I know, right? Like, the table was supposed to break on the first spot.
I tell you what, guys, you want a surefire way to break that table? Just bring Lana and Nia out. They'll get it in a second.
Oh, yeah. Let Lana and Nia show you how it's done.
Yeah. Or, one of you guys have a spouse that goes and works for AEW and you'll get put through that table every night.
Oh, yeah.
Good match between the two. Good storytelling as always.
Oh, yeah. What about that finish, man?
The finish was cool. So after the pop-up powerbomb through the table, Fiend comes back in the ring and locks the mandible claw on KO. KO tries to fight out of it and hits the stunner on the Fiend. And the Fiend doesn't let go of that mandible claw the entire time. Shrugs off the stunner and then hits essentially a jaw choke slam Uranagi sort of thing. Because he starts with he goes to the Uranagi thing, jaw. But he goes full just choke slam style. Just there was nothing there. He just slammed the son of a bitch's head into the ground. It looked brutal.
He picked him up by his jaw. Jeez, man.
Kayfabe wise, that was a nasty ass move.
Yeah.
And it was definitely fun to watch. And that gives the Fiend the victory. The 1, 2, 3 after that. Lights go out. He pops up at the top of the ramp with Alexa Bliss in front of him. They stare at each other, look back at KO, back at each other like lovers do. And that's where we go off the air. So feeding us little breadcrumbs of the storyline a little bit more each time. Totally digging it. We're talking about, we hope that maybe these people he starts to infect become the personifications of his different Firefly characters, Caden was actually casting him very well. What were you saying, man?
Yeah, I was saying we got Alexa as Abby the Witch.
Mhm.
KO is going to be Huskus the Pig. Sorry, KO, but
Hey, man,
it fits the character.
We're all there, bro.
So KO's going to be wearing a crop top soon, huh?
It's the white Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Muscle Man.
You got chocolate around this face, yeah.
You got Aleister Black as Mercy the Buzzard.
I can see that.
And then
Oh, Mercy.
With Bo Dallas still being on the roster, I think he would make a fairly decent Rambling Rabbit.
The little brother that might be a good part of your conscience a little bit that you don't listen to and smack around.
I'm pretty sure IRS said, look, make sure you take your little brother with you. And
come on, Irwin. I'm your dad. Don't call me Irwin.
The Fiend is like, oh, do I have to? So Rambling Rabbit is now little brother.
Yeah. I would vote Seth Rollins though, because he's a small mealy. He's got a smaller mealy mouth talker, fast talker, manipulator. He plays a lot with the Rambling Rabbit thing, and he was the first person to be infected by the Fiend and being turned. But yeah, you're probably right. Like you said earlier, they're not good. Seth's not going to go play second fiddle to somebody. But storyline wise, if you're going in kayfabe, that makes the most sense.
Yes.
And he does fit the look of Ramblin' Rabbit a little bit. And I wouldn't mind him being beat up every week by people.
By the Fiend.
Anyone really. Me, you,
Little Susie down the street.
the ghost of Tupac Shakur. It doesn't matter.
The hologram of Tupac Shakur.
I gotta be leaving now, Sharon. I would leave you my number, but I'm just a hologram and shit. You slept with Tupac? Sharon!
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here on this episode of Heels Up. Sorry if it was low energy, but this is our third time through it because technology hates me today. But please like, please subscribe. Please check out the new show Reanimated, which will be coming out next week. Yeah.
Yes.
And please check out our Facebook and Instagram and other social media. Mr. Reg runs all that stuff.
Yep.
He's going to be putting out some videos that are just exclusive for social media, just some little Reggie exclusive stuff, man. You get to have some quiet personal time with Reg on that social media. So you go lap it up.
Slide in my DMs, whatever.
Sliding into something later. All right, y'all. Again, thank you so much. Please like, please subscribe, and say hi to your mother for me.